bit of hard engage to be grabbed here for the Immortals side. It does give them that point and click ultimate to be able to lock down Kalista, who can be pretty pesky to lock in place. So I think that makes some sense, but they are going to have to be fairly careful in that bottom lane 2v2, and I think that Xmithie's going to have to be really careful about running into Blaber. So my concern for Immortals is mostly them kind of getting run over early. You know, if they can hold even, if they can establish themselves in the mid game, maybe they can make something happen, you know, poke people out around objectives and try to, you know, win through that kind of a style.
Yeah, we did see it earlier from the analyst desk. You know, we did want to see the Samsung Fast 5 because it does feel like Cloud9 at this point are just trying to break their own records. Like, can they do better than Spring as far as win rate goes? Well, that will be pretty tough to top, given that they only picked up one loss in the regular season. But hey, certainly on the table if they can stay undefeated here through week 3. We just had the longest game of the split, as I mentioned, but the fastest game was CLG versus EG, 24 minutes and 9 seconds.
Ooh, that was the perfect game, huh?
Yeah, if we're trying to track some fun stuff, that is the current record to beat. Also, Blaber's trying to beat his own level 6 time. Lee Sin versus Ivern, 5 minutes 36, the one to beat. We'll see if C9 have the speed run ready to go, or if Immortals, with something a bit different here in the jungle, can contend with a brand new roster.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting one. I don't think Blaber has much chance of beating his own record, as he was playing Olaf on it, and Olaf is basically cheating. You know, compared to the Lee Sin power clear, no one could really keep up with the Olaf, so that'll be a tough one to beat. But yeah, I mean, Cloud9 always does feel like they're speed running it. You know, they are such a quick team. You know, so far, I know going into this week, and stats may have changed a bit, obviously, with this super long game and everything, but the average game time in an A was down 3 minutes in the first couple of weeks of this split compared to last split. So, you know, the games are getting faster in general. I do think that a lot of teams are kind of taking a page out of Cloud9's book. And, you know, this is a trend that I see really everywhere in the world, where whoever is the best team in your league, that is who people look to try to learn from, right? And in the past, we have had a lot of teams that were more kind of the slower scaling style teams like TSM and TL, who like to play for team fighting late game, who were very proficient about playing this slower macro style game. And that is what teams are trying to emulate. And then we have had, you know, and SKT falls in that bucket too. And then we've had teams like FPX and IG and G2 and now, you know, Cloud9 and all these teams that are playing very aggressively and more loose and fast and aggressive. And people are saying this is an extremely successful way to play League of Legends. And that is making other teams try to learn and emulate the style, which I think is making the games more exciting.
Absolutely, and certainly had a lot of drama today already. We'll see what happens here in this game as we come up on it shortly. I think, though, for me, like, the most impressive thing about Cloud9 is that they continue to push themselves, even when they're dominating the league. They're clearly the best team. They haven't lost a game yet still. You know, they're willing to pick new champions. They're continuing to push themselves on how aggressive they can make on plays. They want to get those times down and have the games be even faster and cleaner. Like, it's hard enough to keep up with Cloud9 given their current skill level, but they continue to push themselves and the rest of the league with how they play. And to me, that's the most fun thing about watching Cloud9. It's not just that they're good, they're the best, and they keep getting better, which is a very challenging thing to do when you're at the top.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got to be very introspective to improve when you are not losing, right? When you are losing, teams are showing you your mistakes. It's much more obvious. When you are never losing and it's like, well, I do this and I win and I do that and I win, well, okay, I guess I'm the best, right? It becomes much more difficult. You have to look more closely at the games, look for these smaller adjustments and improvements that could have made the game even cleaner, that could have allowed you to dominate even harder, that could have allowed you to avoid that death. And that is something that I think that they have done well thus far. And, you know, they want to continue to push that if they want to maintain this level. You know, people also talk a lot about how teams very frequently have a fall off after, you know, reaching kind of a pinnacle, after, you know, getting to the top and winning. It's very easy to just get cocky and say, well, we slammed spring, of course we're going to win in summer. You know, maybe we don't need to play as much solo queue. Maybe we don't need to practice as hard or try as hard. And if you fall into that trap, teams can, you know, catch up to you and surpass you very easily. So it's been interesting to watch Cloud9 in summer. You know, I know a lot of people in North America are excited to see them internationally because we didn't get to see that at MSI, and people were worried, oh, well, are they going to fall off in summer? So far, not yet.
Yeah, and, you know, that's nice for Cloud9 and all, being as good as they are still and continuing to push that envelope. Even though it's always challenging to play up against Cloud9, right now especially, there is always the prize of, like, who's going to be the first team to beat them. And look, given how much has happened to Immortals in just the past week alone, picking up their first win yesterday, it's unlikely that they'll win this game based on odds in the matchup, but beating C9 is always going to feel great, especially if you're the first team to do it. And if we're looking to have Immortals reinvigorate themselves as an organization, there is no bigger statement right now in the LCS than taking down Cloud9.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that when you come into a game like this as Immortals, they've played one game with this roster in the LCS. Yes, they were playing together at Academy. They were sitting at 3-3. They came in, they got their first win in the LCS, and you are very, free playing this game. No one is expecting you to win, so there is a lot less pressure, and sometimes that can bring out the best in players, in teams, when you can play more relaxed, when you're not worrying about expectations. So we'll see if we get something like that from Immortals today.
Well, you did say that Ivern is basically, Janna in the jungle, short of taking spell thieves, I guess, and I don't know, laning. Guardian here for Xmithie, which is certainly a lot better. I'm sure he'll be rejoining soon.
Yeah, Guardian is actually very effective. Well, he's still moving, so I think we're probably all good. I think that was actually a delayed thing, and that's probably why we were a little slow getting into the game. But Cloud9 looking for the invade here. They want to be able to stop this early Ivern clear. They're trying to look to actually fight and steal away potentially on this blue buff. Paulo can be annoying here and look to poke, but you've got to be very careful about actually getting caught with a hook or anything like that. So you can also see Licorice is warding their own blue buff. So they actually want to fight for this. This is interesting. They are going to try to look to channel. Anytime you hit him, that will cancel the channeling, but Vulcan is taking a lot of damage, so...
Yeah, getting some poke back, but Aftershock already proc, the buff goes over, and now Blaber's just in there. He's level 2, he's getting exhausted. Gonna dance back to his teammates, but he gets hooked. Blaber getting a little bit lower. Vulcan with another good flay gets rooted down the other side, and that looks like first blood served up. Not yet. IMT flashing in. There's Blaber going back in, but that's already a kill, and now Blaber's gonna be caught out of position in a 2v4 now for Cloud9. Good flash there from the Lee Sin as Blaber...
He can flash for the root.
He's going to go in again. Oh, good flash order there from Hakuho. Root lands again. The ward back up for Blaber means he can dance back towards the tower. I mean, he's level 2, but he gets hooked again. Now they go in for it. The first blood, they want it if they can get it, but Apollo does find the snipe. Will be traded out though to Zven as he gets the blue buff at the end of it all. Chucks up the thumbs up, and goodness gracious, 3 kills in 2.5 minutes.
Oh my god. Apollo starts 0 CS, but 2 champion kills. Not bad. That was actually an insane chase down. I don't think Cloud9 would have expected them to be able to actually pull that off. There was not really any chance, I think, of Xmithie ever actually being able to get this, because you've got to get the full channel to actually, be able to have that instant smite and grab the blue buff. And that's what Xmithie was going to try to do. But Apollo with the hook, you have the passive roots from the Nautilus, non-stop Qs coming out here, from the Ezreal poking them down, and Xmithie was going to have his root caller as well to continually land those roots. And this was honestly just a pretty decent punish here from Immortals, but it's going to put us into such a weird position where, people are going to be way down in the experience. People are going to be set very far behind the curve. I do think if you can actually trade, that was a cancel auto. I'm not sure if it actually would have mattered because I don't think he actually get out there by Apollo, but if you could put both the Lee Sin and the Ivern behind, I think as Immortals you are happier with that. We'll have to see how it does pan out though, as Blaber was quickly back out onto the map. Has already gotten his level 3. Xmithie has only taken 1 camp still.
Yeah, took his own blue as well, I guess. That's the whole initial point of the invade, is to take a camp away from Ivern, which has been successful. Blaber on the left-hand side of the map there. That does mean Xmithie will go ahead and take down the crab. Does smite it to take it down instantly. Still the red buff available for Blaber, but I imagine at this juncture he is going to get it. So Xmithie will indeed be 3-buffed.
Yeah, and Blaber went to the blue buff, I think, just in case Xmithie was going to try to steal that away. He assumed that would be the camp that he would go to. But Xmithie here with a decent clear, and he drops actually the marks down on, he had them on the Wolves, on the Gromp, on the Raptors, and then went down and actually used his smite over on that Scuttle. So he has now picked up, a number of camps, going to be working up towards that top side and kind of caught up as far as the clear is concerned to Blaber. Obviously, if Blaber does full clear and not look for ganks, he will be camps ahead because he did take that blue buff. But we're put into a pretty interesting situation, and even Zven with that trade kill back will have been able to have a very nice early buy. He's on a really strong set of items despite only having the 1 kill to the 2. He had a better chunk of gold to actually buy when he went home, so he gets the Cull and the Longsword, which is going to have a lot more combat power than that of just the Sapphire Crystal plus boots.
Yeah, pretty even across the board though, as kind of everything settles down. Junglers are staying close on XP and farm. Little advantage here for mid lane, current advantage here for Zven, but again, as Apollo catches these waves, he'll catch up. It is actually Licorice with the counter pick after Allorim took the Aatrox blind, where he's currently doing well in the 1v1.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much of that farm is available for Allorim to grab, as it looked like a big wave was pushing towards him. So not actually sure exactly how far ahead he is, but Cloud9 double culls early on, going to be stacking that up, you know, can pay off. You know, in a couple minutes down the road, you know, that can start to look pretty nice. Obviously going to take them, you know, their 8 or so minutes to actually cash that out, but that's something that they can look forward to as a little bit of an injection in gold. Xmithie going for those early Moby boots. You know, this is pretty standard on the Ivern. A lot of the builds that I have seen, sometimes in pro play, people would go for something like the Redemption, but, you know, Athene's is very effective. It's really just skip the jungle item generally, go straight towards the supportive style items, and you do just act like this support with just a ton of gold. You know, it's going to be maxed on the shield. It's going to be, you know, very much kind of buffing up these carries and trying to make them set up for success.
Yep, interesting flex there from Nisqy in mid. Pops the Fun plus Phoenix emote and then misses the cannon. Probably not the plan. But I do appreciate that Nisqy has been very consistent in laning and managing to emote while weaving in the autos. Bottom lane Blaber is showing some attention, but could actually have a dive brewing here. Xmithie is covering, so it's going to be a 3v3 if anything, and it seems like Blaber just going to get some info and dip on out.
Yeah, I think they want to move more likely towards the dragon. I think that dive will be way too risky since Apollo and Hakuho are still full health, and Xmithie, you know, could have been in that area and now has been confirmed to be. You have the Kalista, you have the Lee Sin, so with that push, just go to the dragon, start stacking very, very early. This is something that Cloud9 has done so consistently throughout every single game this split, no matter what they are playing. You know, in the first couple games, it was 3 games of Olaf, and people were saying, well, okay, yeah, you can do that because you're Olaf. Well, turns out if you're Blaber, you can do that if you're Trundle or Lee Sin or Olaf.
Yep.
You know, the champions that he has played. They just play very well around it. You can see the committed amount of vision down on the bottom side. They have 3 pink wards in that dragon quadrant. They have a deep ward that spotted out the Ivern. Cloud9 always kind of does their due diligence, gets the push, supports their lane, you know, with the jungler, and then uses that pressure to take dragons and threaten a win condition through Soul.
Yep, without looking it up, I would be willing to bet that Cloud9 have got every single first dragon in their game so far this split. Just been how dominant they've been around these early objectives. Licorice for the all-in. Here comes Nisqy, though. Never a fair fight with Twisted Fate in the game. And there's the double spin. Moxie, be proud. There's the kill for Nisqy.
Not 1, but 2 ultimates there from the Wukong. Able to knock down Allorim. He even had the early executioners, great for that 1v1, you know, reducing a lot of the self-healing. And now the kick flash!
Into the stun, Fun plus Phoenix! Nisqy looking to take down Insanity, but he cleanses out of there. Blaber now all fully low, dances back though, and now Nisqy needs one more. Yeah, better flash out of there, as Insanity will escape. But Nisqy back with the emotes, hammer in the tower.
Yeah, but you can see how Ivern was able to actually fight back. They almost took down Blaber. Blaber had the 6 to only the level 5 of Xmithie, so if he did have level 6, if he had the Daisy there, could have made something happen. You know, the damage that actually comes out from the shield can be a little bit surprising. You know, that pop of damage, they have buffed the auto attack range from Ivern quite a while ago now, but it used to be in the past that you only got the bonus auto attack range if you were in a brush. Now you just have that passively, and it does more damage if you're in the brush, but you can still have that range. It makes it more easy for you to skirmish, makes it more easy for you to have just kind of a higher baseline of success in these fights, and you still do have the buff donation. So it's actually going to be a red buff on Insanity. That can be pretty annoying to deal with, not only because of the true damage burn and the slow, but also because of the HP regen. So it can allow you to trade more aggressively in this 1v1 mid lane and look to try to be really annoying.
Nisqy gets the blue buff though, no extra buff on the non-Ivern team, but Nisqy will happily clear these waves out and perhaps look to ulti away once again, although it's not back off cooldown just yet. Very long cooldown on the rank 1 ulti, and rightly so. Looks like just some farming as we see when the next room does continue. Checking back in with the numbers. There's a decent lead, about 10 for both Licorice and Zven right now. Good dodge of the bubble there from Nisqy. As Insanity feeling a bit more aggressive, given that he's found a cleanse out of a balloon.
Yeah, he has
get
the
knocked
cleanse.
up and use it.
And he can trade health, you know, because he has that red buff. He knows he's going to regen a lot of that up. Vulcan suspecting a roam here as Hakuho, you know, was missing, and so he looks to actually match that roam. You can see it's actually tabbies here from Hakuho, so going a more defensive route. There is a heavy amount of AD damage, you know, with the Lee Sin, Wukong, Kalista, and even Thresh. But it is going to be this move towards Rifthold. Has been spotted here by Immortals. Question is, are you willing to actually take the team fight? Flash Ultimate is available for Licorice, and it would be tough to actually make the move over into it.
Ooh, sleepy Blaber might actually just get the steal here. Gonna get the damage down though. Ooh, True Drop Barrage also making Blaber's health very unsettling, but the Rift Herald goes over and it is stolen by Allorim. He actually snags the eye as well, but he's gonna have to flash out of there. Does get stunned, but he'll make it out safely. Blaber wants to punish, but cannot find him. And that pressure onto Blaber did force the early smite, hence the steal for Immortals.
Hey, really nicely done actually by Immortals. Yes, Xmithie does die. He uses his flash, uses ulti, goes down anyway, but I think you're pretty happy about that. You're willing to give over your jungler for that Rift Herald kill and the Rift Herald take. You know, they grabbed the eye in that situation because it was looking like it was going to be Cloud9 winning the fight and getting the Herald, so they make the best of a bad situation there, and they will walk away with something. But I mean, this is kind of the magic of Cloud9. They're already up 2,000 gold, and it feels like, you know, not that much has really happened. You know, 2 kills went the way of Apollo at level 1, including the first blood, and you're still up this much with a dragon to your name this early. They just seem to always be able to get farm advantages to create plays and take.
Kind of baited by his own emote as Insanity throws up thumbs up. Nisqy just walking over the edge of that bubble to take himself a not good trade.
He's okay. He's probably going to base here anyway, it looks like, and he's going towards the Roa first item. He does have the stopwatch ready to go now as well, so some playmaking available there. It's a pretty durable early build when you have the Merc Treads, the stopwatch, and this Roa, so you know we could look to see him get a little bit aggressive in these fights, but he's got to really keep track of the cleanse cooldowns, because if you try to ult into the backline for a gold card onto someone like Apollo or Insanity, they both are playing cleanse, which is going to make it pretty difficult, and Cloud9 has got to be very sure about their engages, because if you don't kill someone off right away, the value that Ivern gets in these extended fights goes up and up and up as he gets more and more rounds of shielding out. Becomes pretty difficult.
Yeah, Blaber does take the top crab, but Zven and Vulcan have actually pushed Apollo and Hakuho out of lane. Whether or not they're just taking a recoil timing, not too sure, but they will get some damage down to the tower, take some plates off, and there is the second Drake to fight for here. So it looks like Immortals are going to translate down to that area, but Blaber is actually on the top side still, and I think Xmithie knows that something's happening top lane. There comes TF, and the double knock up again. Allorim just nowhere good to go, even gets kicked by Blaber to secure the kill.
It's never a fair fight up in that top lane. The 3v1, all ultimates committed, and Allorim is going to get punished there. You've got to be so quick about backing off, about playing defensive when the other team has TF. Anytime TF is missing and you don't know exactly where he is, you've got to expect that he could be coming to your lane, and it's definitely a difficult situation to be in for Allorim, who is already losing in that 1v1. Now Licorice is going to be able to get plates, they're going to be able to get the dragon off this, and while it's normally more risky to go for that top lane attack, because they can move so quickly down to the bottom side, and because Licorice has TP and Allorim doesn't, they're going to get the kill top side, they're going to get plates top side, and they're still going to have priority on this bottom side. Because if you actually try to come into the fight, well, Licorice is going to TP, and you're probably going to lose.
We'll take Drake over to Cloud9, so they're going to take that second ocean nice and easily.
Yep, and the gold lead has doubled since we last talked about it. It's just been a couple of minutes, and they're now up 4K with 2 dragons to their name. It's just insane how quickly they're able to snowball this.
Yeah, I mean, think about what you just said. They made a 3-man play topside and still got the objective on the bottom half of the map. That is, as you mentioned, kind of the magic of Cloud9, which is impressive to watch, but they know what their limits, they know exactly how to set up for these things, and they often test things to make sure, you know what, can we be greedy here? Can we afford to try and take the maximum? We have seen teams as recently as last game get punished for wanting to take the maximum, or not take the maximum in instances as well, but that game was quite the anomaly. But I think Cloud9 have just shown, like, not only are they extremely talented individually, but their decision making, how quick they are to come to a conclusion about what they want to be doing in a game is just one of the many reasons they're on top right now. As Rift Herald will charge into the mid lane, some plate money will go over, but not much else there.
And I mean, this is something that sounds really simple, but I mean, even just, so we'll watch Hakuho.
He's fine.
Seems like he's fine, but it's something that sounds very simple, but I mean, when you watch a lot of TF players around the world, they'll take so long to get their first ultimate out, and just the fact that Nisqy is so proactive, when the ultimate comes back up, the teammates are already setting up for the play, they have already cleared vision on his path towards where he wants to go, they have the lane in a proper spot, to actually look for it. It's engaged on the bottom side.
Nasty double play there. Hakuho low does have his flash, but doesn't have to use it. Already burnt the exhaust though, so Zven and Vulcan at least getting some good damage out of the deal, but Vulcan did have to use both his summoners for that.
Yeah, they did get the flash off Apollo though and the exhaust off Hakuho, so going to be feeling pretty good about that because it's also going to mean the tower is likely going down. Xmithie though trying to move down here to prevent that.
Zven just letting it rip onto Apollo. Ivern shield was probably necessary to protect Apollo. One more auto in that rend I think may have felled him. Top lane, oh goodness. Every time we come to the top lane now I get nervous for Allorim.
Yeah, I think every time Allorim comes to the top lane, he gets nervous for Allorim. So
oh,
here we go again. Rest in peace, Allorim.
Yep, there's the gold card. Stun, kick, damage, spin around, and that's an easy kill for Blaber once again.
Yep, what are you going to do? I mean, it's honestly a rough situation. He would have had to back off early, right? He would have had to be out of there before they can even set up that play. And that is a bit on him, but you can also say that perhaps Xmithie needs to be behind him, shadowing him when they are setting up for these types of plays. It's very difficult. Cloud9 is moving at such a fast pace, and again, as soon as the TF ult is up, guess what? The play is already propped on the top side. Blaber is already up there. Nisqy is moving. Instant ult, instant kill. They make it look so damn easy.
Yeah, when I said I was worried for Allorim, he was actually hitting the tower in mid lane, so took not much time at all to translate to that top dive, and just continued snowball here for Cloud9 as Insanity does hit a very nice bubble plus paddle star combo, but not enough to knock down the 6,000 gold lead. That is absurd for Cloud9 here 16 minutes in. Just a casual 6K. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. They're going for the Rift Herald here as well. Xmithie has gotten his redemption, so that's something working for them. Is a very powerful team fight item, but I mean, the disadvantage on the top side is honestly just so rough. This Wukong is going to be out of control. He already has his Executioners, full Triforce, and a Tiamat at 16.5 minutes. You look over on the other side, it's just kind of the components there for Allorim, and he is building towards cheaper items. So it's definitely a really tough spot for him to be in. And Licorice, when you are this far ahead, it really doesn't take much extra from your teammates on Wukong to then just instantly kill someone, right? Triforce is providing a lot of extra burst with the Sheen proc there too, and you know that Zven can be there adding any frontline damage in. You could have Blaber and Nisqy going into the backline with you, and if anyone gets low whatsoever, they will be deleted by this Wukong.
Yeah, Humble Glaive for Blaber too, so he's just like sweeping vision out on the right side of the jungle. They drop the Herald mid, just to make a play on almost every front. Mid tank outer is gone. Blaber is looking for an angle. Does not connect onto Apollo with the resonating strike, but 45 seconds until that next Drake is up as Cloud9 can once again get themselves towards a very early soul point.
Yep, going to be moving towards that third dragon, 7,000 gold lead, a lot of strong early champions. It's so hard to see how Immortals are going to really be able to fight their way out of this one. I did like the idea of trying to go for something different here with the Ivern, something a little bit unexpected perhaps, and trying to, utilize that as maybe a win condition with kind of this poke comp, but Cloud9 is just way too good at escalating the pace of the game for Immortals to be able to keep up.
Blaber, that's just gross! Kicks Allorim back in, and Zven this time gets credit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who gets it.
You bullies. He's already dead.
Yeah, at least for the fourth time, certainly, as they'll take the tier 2 alongside with it. Oh, look, the dragon's up. Weird. Wonder why they made a play when they did. IMT, Apollo, and Xmithie going to go ahead and knock down mid out of tower, so at least they'll try and get a trade, but this is the worst trade deal in a long while.
In the history of trade deals, some might even say. Poor Allorim, man. Coming up to the LCS, has a pretty decent Malphite game in his first game, and then you're up against Cloud9, you're up against the Wukong that you're known for. The memes are going to be never ending here, as he is just getting picked on non-stop by Nisqy and Blaber. He shows up to any sort of tower, and he's just dead. It's just such a tough spot for him to be in now. He's now down 2+ levels. The items are just coming in even more so now for Licorice, who's likely going to be grabbing a Death Dance next year and just going to be getting to ridiculous levels of Fed.
Yep, Nisqy also 2 items already done, 7 charges on the Rod of Ages, so 3 away from 10, and Lichbane is the second item of choice, which I think is the most common choice, especially when you're ahead. It's just so good at snowballing when the map is open like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you can go towards the Zonias if you're looking more for that kind of like team fight, aggressive initiation style of build. But, you know, in a situation like this, especially when you still haven't been forced to use your stopwatch, there's just no need. You can go for the more aggressive option. If you get time alone on a turret, you're going to be looking, you know, really good to knock down that quickly. You know, your burst is going to be stronger every time you're ulting into those side lanes. The CDR, obviously, you know, comparable on both items, but it does feel really, really nice to go the Lich Bane route.
The little things sometimes. Pretty sure Blaber tried to like cancel an auto by safeguarding away to take that chicken. I know, like it's like 0.02 seconds of efficiency or whatever, but I appreciate that he's, you know, doing the little things mechanically. As again, this game has just been another standard Cloud9 thrashing. Nisqy with 2 combat summoners ready to TP onto someone's face. Licorice has way too many items at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, you know, closing
great
in
social
on
media, excellent branding, wonderful apparel, great owner. You just got it all. It's not fair. We got like 5 coaches.
No, they're going to keep it going here, ulting in, looking for a kill on top side.
Hey, it's Hakuho. He's in a bit of trouble. TP though in, going to be first for Allorim. Joins in the party. Not really the invite he wanted though, and the spins keep coming in from Licorice. Zven able to take down Ezreal on the rotate. Insanity going to fall as well. Stun lance in for Nisqy. Hakuho under the tower, low but not out just yet. Xmithie instead will be collateral. And the wild cards are not enough because Blaber's there first. The thumbs down from Nisqy as his jungler steals his kill. But hey, look, the Bud Light Ace there for Cloud9 as they take all 5 of Immortals down.
And what a coincidence. The Baron has spawned. It's 20 minutes. How about we'll grab that too? That sounds nice. Cloud9 going to grab that on the back end of that clean ace up on that top side. They already have the Rage Blade of Rune King. This guy's just so ridiculously fast. Very easy 20-minute Baron. And you were talking about the speed run. Could they actually beat that earlier time set by EG against CLG, that perfect game? This is not a perfect game, but it might end up being even faster as they're willing to go very deep here. Nisqy knows he's safe to ult in aggressively because he's chosen to support. He's not ulting into a bunch of damage dealers, so his team can actually catch up here. Zven winning out this duel on the bottom side here against Apollo, pulls Vulcan back to him, easily winning that 2v2 down on that bottom side. And up on the top side, it's just not even close. They continue the dive past the tower, getting the final kill there onto Hakuho, and this is just an absolute shellacking at this point from Cloud9.
Rewatching that team fight and looking at Licorice, it was like the ending of Inception. It just doesn't stop spinning that whole fight.
It ain't close, PastryTime, I'll tell you that much.
All right, well, at least while we're tracking things here, 24 minutes and 9 seconds is the record to beat for fastest game so far this split. Not a lot of time for Cloud9 to do it, but if they can do it within this Red Bull Baron power play, then hey, certainly
I think
there's a chance.
They're so fed and they have strong dives, so it just depends. Do they see the opportunity? Do they want to play it out more slowly? You know, they don't want to risk over diving and, you know, giving over a bunch of shutdowns. Then maybe there's some slight way back in for Immortals, but I do think that there's a very high chance that Cloud9 can spread them out, make people answer multiple waves, find their window to actually look for a dive and potentially close the game.
On pace. We'll see if they can break it here. Pushing all 3 lanes right now. Hook lands in onto Zven. The lantern is there, but he's got nowhere to click it. Oh, he flashes out just barely in the nick of time. The Fate's call for Vulcan is enough to save him as Nisqy dives in, and oh goodness, Licorice back to spinning in the backlines again. There's the second as he gets kicked into the other knockup. Hakuho, see you later. As Insanity and Apollo are chasing back in, and we may well be on as Apollo is kiting back, trying to cut some waves here and there, but Cloud9 are going to hunt him down by the looks of things. It's just not fair.
Want the Nexus. They just want the kills.
Oh, Blaber nails it as well. The resonating strike dominating for Blaber as he takes down Apollo. Only Insanity left to defend the Nexus. Less than a minute to go. Cloud9. We'll see how quickly they can end this game, because it certainly looks like they're trying to.
Yeah, they're going for triple inhib, so I think they might not actually try to go for the end, or they want triple inhib and then the opportunity to back up if they don't think they can end it. But waves coming in from all sides. Blaber goes in with no help.
Oh, Blaber, okay. You know what? His coach told him about finding exit strategies, had none for that, so he will give his life away, and I think that does mean we are now off record pace. Insanity and the rest of Immortals will hold on for now, but that gold lead is not reasonable at all.
No, and they're looking for soul right now. They're already on that soul, so that's always nice too. And Blaber just looking for the quick recall, I'm sure. You know, wanted to get back to base, spend that gold, so going to allow his second jungler here, Zven, to pick it up with the Ren.
Does get it. Good smite there from Zven, making sure the Ren was ready to go. almost a death cap done for Nisqy as well. I mean, yeah, the advantage is just as we said, unreasonable. We're out of hyperbole to describe how far ahead Cloud9 are in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's 15,000 gold lead at 24 minutes. Triple inhib down. You have Soul. Like, there's actually no chance, right? You know, this is pretty much as insurmountable as you can get. It would take an absolute comedy of errors for Cloud9 not to be able to even close this out in the next couple minutes here. And I think that they are going to just look to try to close it right now on the push. No need to actually wait for, you know, the Elder and the Baron and everything. I do think you can just kind of try to close in on all sides, keep those minions going, and look to end this one out.
Yeah, that might not even need all 5 champions at this point. Maybe leave someone at home. Maybe let Blaber hang out in the fountain. Send her to go relax for a bit. It's done a lot of work already in this game.
Take a break.
IMT, oh goodness, that's way too many super minions. The Horde has arrived. IMT are busy clearing out the PvE portion of the game, let alone the PvP that Cloud9 are about to inflict upon them. Hakuho gets stunned up in the front lines. The sad B is out. The next turrets are gone, and it's the last stand here from Immortals. Double play there for Vulcan into the box, and the spins happen once more as Licorice Beyblades into the back line. And that's going to be the front side dead. Apollo and Senator the only ones left alive. And hey, look, an exposed Nexus as another win for Cloud9 is now upon us. And how much of the fountain will they dive for KDA purposes? You got to pad the DPM as Cloud9 will take victory number 6.
Very well done. Clean 6-0 on the season. There was no doubt about this one. Let's be honest. Cloud9 just absolutely blasting Immortals. Interesting level 1 to be sure. You know, Ezreal being able to get 2 kills, flashing into the turret, chasing all the way across the map. You know, that was a pretty fun start to the game. But Immortals really never got a foothold in this game. They were already losing on the top side early in the 1v1. Cloud9 snowballed that incredibly well. They won the 2v2 on the bottom side outright. Nisqy went even while roaming nonstop in the mid lane, and Blaber's ahead in the jungle. So it's like you're winning all 5 roles, you're taking all objectives, you're snowballing the game, and that's what it looks like. You know, that's a damn near perfect game of League of Legends there from Cloud9 as they just absolutely destroyed Immortals.
Yeah, it was actually that level 1. That's the only reason it wasn't a perfect game. It felt like another dominating performance there, as you will be stepping away. But on the other side, Licorice is going to hear from the top lane of Cloud9 in the Verizon